welcome to SilverC Review! Hopefully you could hear me. If not, welcome to SilverC Review. This podcast will have an introduction, a movie review, movie recommendation, jokes and quotes, and then an Inside the Intorvert section. So all the times are listed down below. If there's one you want to listen to, skip the other ones, feel free to do so. Also, if you want me to review a movie, just drop it in the comments pretty much anywhere, and I will check it out. This is there's a bug on it. This is a sand burr. Hopefully you can see that. It's got about 15 of these on here, and they're all over the place. And they, if they do manage to, they stick to your clothes, and then if you sit on them, or if they do manage to pierce your skin, they've got poison in each little barbs, and they suck. So, yeah, I'm out here visiting, and I've got, this area's got lots of neat areas, but it's also super, super windy. You can probably hear it. You'll probably hear it through these next 3 videos, because I'm doing 3 of them out here. What is that? Something just attacked me. This is like it's like Australia out here. Everything wants to kill you. No, I'm kidding. But, yeah, lots of wind, so next 3 videos. I'm also going to have the same shirt on, because I didn't even bring 3 shirts with me, because I'm only staying the weekend. So, that wasn't on my thing, but anyways, and if you'll wait until the end of this video, I've got a blooper where my manufactured tripod fell over. The wind started blowing, and I have it kind of underneath something so it stays cool, and I was hoping it would block most of the wind, and the wind somehow got in there and knocked it over. So that'll be at the end of this video. Movie I watched recently, Jason Bourne, giving that one a 7 out of 10. It's already in my collection. It's good, very similar to the other ones, and I like the other one, so I like that one. I just heard on the Joe Rogan podcast that Unsane, the movie, was filmed on an iPhone. I had heard there was a movie that was filmed by a good director on an iPhone, but I didn't know that was the movie. And so when I commented that it had a good storyline, but it felt like it was filmed by a film student or something, that's why I didn't know about that. So there you go. Jurassic World, my review of it for some reason got a bunch of views. Like, it's almost on par with The Greatest Showman on number of, or I guess, listens or whatever. And it's really weird. Like, those are the only 2 that I've had any amount of listens on. And I don't know if it's like being pointed to by another podcast, or if it's like some automated system that's doing it, or if it's like a glitch or what. But for some reason those 2 have a lot of listens, so it's kind of strange. I wanted to read this because it's kind of long and I can't remember it all, but it's really cool. I don't know why I put it in my introduction. It was not really a quote, so I just decided to put it here. But I saw this the other day. It said, if you had $86,400 in your bank account and someone stole $10, would you be upset and throw the remaining $86,390 away in hopes of getting back at that person who took your $10? Probably not. I mean, you really wouldn't worry that much about $10. But you would just move on and keep living. But we all have 86,400 seconds in each day, so don't let someone's negative 10 seconds ruin the rest of the 86,390. Life is a lot bigger than that. And it just really puts things in perspective. If you had that much money, I mean, you wouldn't want people taking $10, but you wouldn't throw away the rest of it. And so there's a million people out there that can ruin part of your day, but it's up to you not to focus on that part and just keep going on, because there's a lot of other things that can happen, and it's never too late to turn a bad day into a good day. So just keep on moving on. That's gonna be for the introduction. We're gonna talk about, boy, I have no clue which way to put my hand. I'm just gonna put it here. Ant-Man and the Wasp. Giving this one a 7 out of 10. It is so hot, I can feel it on the palm of my hand. It's like 102, I think, today. And it's this whole week's supposed to be like 110 around this area. Heat index like 117. But there's wind, at least. where I'm from, there's so much humidity, it can be 95 and feel like 110. It's crazy. You can get in the shade, just doesn't help. Anyways, there will be spoilers. Man, that was a... I'm going to have to space out my spoiler thing because I got to talking. There will be spoilers in this, so if you've not watched it and you don't want it spoiled, watch it first. So I'm giving him an A+ for being a really cool dad. When it starts off, the thing he built in his house is incredibly creative and awesome, and I know he has all the time in the world because he's stuck in his house, but that was still really cool and really well laid out, and them going down the kind of like man-made slide that he made, that was cool. So that was definitely an interesting introduction. It was kind of weird how he wasn't supposed to fight with the Avengers due to him, like, I guess, stealing the suit, and he seems to be like the only one being penalized. Because, I mean, he's not in Infinity War, and it seems like he's under house arrest, where the other ones are, like, I guess he breaks them out of jail at the start of Infinity War, maybe? I'm not sure, really, how they get out of where they are, if they are even being penalized, but I feel like he's the only one that they're really focused on. I feel like I have a sandburr in my leg. It might just be the same poking me. So I thought that was kind of strange. Which I never really could tell if this was before Infinity War or during or after. I don't know if there's something in it that would have allowed me to tell which one it was. Sorry, I'm having to read this. It's kind of long. They don't really reference the Infinity War ending, so I'm going to assume it's before. I feel like that's something that definitely would have been referenced. So I probably should have said spoilers for Infinity War as well, which I'm not really spoiling it, but I am kind of... when I get to talking, I don't really think about how to word things. They just kind of come out, so yeah. But it was weird that he wasn't with them in Infinity War. I mean, especially at the end of this movie, he's got the suit and everything, so, and he's no longer under house arrest, so I don't know why he wasn't in Infinity War. The battle scene with the Wasp was definitely awesome. The new villain, the Ghost, really seems cool. Like, I like the being able to phase through stuff. And I love how they fight in the Ant-Man. I love how Ant-Man and the Wasp fight. Just how they go between small and big. And, of course, when you're small, you've got a lot more power and being able to dodge stuff by shrinking. But still, when you're small, you run the risk of being, like, smashed. And I don't know, it's just a very neat fighting style. That's something I've always admired, and that's why I like big flashy powers. There was a mouse that just ran across there, field mouse. I like big flashy powers because it's not so much that they have the power, it's the unique ways they use them. That's why one of my favorite heroes is the Flash, because he can use his speed in so many different ways, and it's just... really, really cool. I think I've said that before, but that's something that I admire in this video, or this movie, how they use their powers in different ways. I have lost my place now. Oh, the whole scene with the Ant-Man being stuck at, like, kid size, that was hilarious. Like, the entire time, him walking around, being stuck at that was a really good touch. I liked it. The emergency for the soccer shoes was really funny. It was a really way, and this movie does this a lot, is to break the mood of not being so serious, of being comical, and that was really good. So they did well on that with the phone ringing and it not actually being an emergency. The truth serum that was referenced throughout the entire movie was very funny, with it actually being a truth serum and everyone talking about it like it's like real world, like they weren't in a movie. Like, it was like, I'm pretty sure truth serums exist, right? Yeah, so I liked it. I loved the Wasp commercial, or not commercial, but the reference to the commercial and how he was like the only one that remembered it. I mean, when that commercial originally came on, I guess I was a teenager, and that's all me and my dad would say to each other, like over the phone or anything like that. Like every time you'd either greet someone or answer the phone, you'd go, "What's up?" So, I like the reference. So, did I miss something, or does it explain why the Ghost character is so strong? I know she can phase in and out, but is it just her suit, or I'm not really sure why that makes her strong. Like, I don't know if it said something at one point, but I mean, she's able to hit people and make them go flying across the room. And like, I know Ant-Man and them, when you're smaller, the strength to size ratio increases or something, and that allows you to have super strength. But for her, she said at one point her body's being torn apart and put back together, but I'm not sure how in the world that would contribute to strength. And I mean, even if she's trained and stuff, which that's another thing, how it doesn't really explain if she's gone through any sort of training. And I mean, she's a pretty good fighter, and it's kind of weird how just because she has powers, suddenly she can fight really well. So, like, I liked her character, but there was a little bit that needed to be explained. The grass came back up, so I can't see my board. In the, it's a truck, I thought it was a helicopter. In the chase scene, it's funny how they always have people on motorcycles. They always have bad guys on motorcycles, and occasionally, like in the Jason Bourne, they have the good guy on the motorcycle, but it's interesting how they're always incorporating old motorcycles, which I love, because I ride a motorcycle, and I'm always like, yeah, I definitely can't do anything like that. Nope, not like that. Oh, no, he would definitely be on the ground. So, thought I'd put that out. You just got Pezzed. That was so awesome. I love Pez, and it didn't matter. That was being a Hello Kitty Pez dispenser. That was a very good touch. I liked it. So, at the end, they had a lot going on. They had the chase scene going on, and him being small in the subatomic realm going on, and there was a lot. So they did a good job of, kind of like at the end of Infinity War, doing smooth transitions between it. Like, you never really got confused who was doing what, where, and you never felt like you were missing out on anything while you were watching one or the other. So I felt like they did a good job of that. Which, I didn't put this on there, but the subatomic realm, it's kind of weird. Like, I would assume that subatomic just means that you're in, like, the molecules of air and stuff like that. And I feel like for them to be able to locate her, they would have to go subatomic in the same area that she went subatomic, because that's the area she would be. But if she's around, like, I can't remember when she did it. I know they explained it in the first movie. I can't remember if it was, like, on a missile or what happened, but wherever it was, if you're in the air's molecules are constantly moving. So it felt weird that they could go, unless they're just going at super speed, it felt weird they could just shrink down to subatomic level and go to wherever she is. Like, I don't know. I feel like if she went subatomic, like, 5 states over from where they're at, you can't get to her that easily. And it wasn't really explained, which maybe they do kind of reference it and it just goes above my head, but that's my thoughts on it. The FBI agent, I felt, was very well played. The main FBI agent, he was very relatable, very a unique personality, not like you would imagine an FBI agent. There is something that's stabbing me in the back of my leg, but I can't find it when I put my hand there. Sorry. But yeah, he was real relatable, kind of not like overly funny, but just doing stuff that you and I would probably do. So I thought that was good. And the last thing, if you ever are traveling or you see pictures online, you see a house somewhere, and you're like, how in the world would they even build a house there? I don't know what that thing was, but it was weird. How would they even build a house there? Shrink and enlarge technology, that's how they do it. I mean, we now have proof in this movie that they put a house somewhere where it shouldn't be, so you see the pictures of the house way up on like a rock that's just straight up. That's how they do it. We found out now. So, that's going to be it for Ant-Man and the Wasp, 7 out of 10. Enjoyed it. We're going to go on to the movie recommendation. I really hope I'm not being cut off. This one's going to be The Cube, or it's just called Cube. It's a series of movies, and there's 3 of them. One in 1997, one in 2002, and one in 2004. And the first one's called Cube, the second one's called Cube 2 Hypercube, and it's a sequel. And then they made a prequel, which is called Cube 0. And I recommend watching all of them. They're all great. They're very graphic movies. Imagine Saw, but with like a futuristic twist to it. and but they're still fun to watch. It's got an interesting take. Everyone, I don't remember if it's all of the movies, but I know one of the movies at least, each person is put there kind of for a reason, kind of like Saw. Like, it's not necessarily they did something bad, but they have a certain set of skills that's supposed to be able to challenge them to see if they can make it out of this. And the description says, without remembering how they got there, several strangers awaken in a prison of cubic cells. Some of them booby-trapped. And this is the first cube. There's a cop, a scientist, a math genius, an escape artist, and an architect. So you can imagine they've got that combination of people that could possibly get out of this thing alive. The prisoners must use their combined skills if they are to escape. And the ways they get killed, I haven't watched them in a while, so I don't remember them perfectly, but I know sometimes they'll get like disintegrated, sometimes these lasers will come across and just cut them into pieces, and it's, I don't know, it's more unique to me than Saw, but it's still kind of the same concept, which I love all the Saw movies, so check it out. If you like Saw, definitely check out Cube. Oh man, completely forgot. And it's so bright out here I can't even see my phone. Okay, jokes and quotes. I'm going to skip to the quotes while this loads. Sometimes we have to live to fight another day. And actually my mom sent that quote to me recently. I really like it. There's days where the best you can do is just take care of yourself and get to the next day. I'm not saying it's ever too late to turn the day around, but at some point, it's best just to admit defeat and just be like, I just need to get to tomorrow. It'll be better. So sometimes the best you can do, and there's nothing wrong with that, is just to take care of yourself that day and get on. So that's kind of what that quote says. Why do they not... They're very strategic with where they put their exit buttons. Next quote. Being negative only makes a difficult journey more difficult. If you have been given a cactus and you... Boy, I messed this up. You may have been given a cactus, but you don't have to sit on it. And I really messed that quote up. But anyways, pretty much it's saying that if you... There's no denying that you can be in a negative situation, in a bad situation, and it's not fair, and stuff happens, and you're in it, but sitting around and complaining about it is not going to help. I mean, it does suck, and sometimes you want to try to gain sympathy from other people, and that's alright, but don't go on and on about it. Be working on a way to make it better. And, like, for example, I mean, you know that I've been living like 45 minutes to an hour away, and I have to drive back and forth for work. And I'm having car trouble right now, so now I'm down to just my motorcycle. Remember I talked about driving my dream car and it has all these problems? So, yeah. Now I'm down to just my motorcycle for the time being. And, but anyways, so usually if there's a chance of rain, I don't ride my motorcycle because I don't want to risk it. But I kind of have to get more riskier with just having the motorcycle. And, I was going home, and I knew there was a storm coming, but I was going to try and make it as far as I could, and maybe pull off if it got bad. And I'm going down the interstate, it's just black death coming at me, and of course I'm getting scared, and the storm front hits me, and the wind is the first thing that hits me. And my cycle's not a real heavy cycle, so it's just pushing me all over the road. I'm swerving, trying to stay in my lane. I had previously been going about 10 over, trying to get as far as I could before the storm hit me. And I'm like about a mile away from an exit, and that's my goal at that point. As soon as the wind starts hitting me, I'm like, I need to get to an exit. So I'm freaking out, I'm scared, and all of a sudden the rain starts hitting me. But it's not like pouring rain. It's hard rain, but it's not soaking the ground yet, which I know right when it starts raining, that's when the ground is slickest. So now I've got wind and rain, and I figured if it got too much worse, I was just going to pull off onto the side of the interstate, keep going slowly until I made it to the exit. But I could see the exit, and I finally made it there, and I was repeating in my head, just let me make it to the exit, just let me make it to the exit. And I made it to the exit, pulled over, got underneath a truck stop, but the rain at this point was blowing sideways, so it wasn't protecting me. So I went ahead and pulled around the back of the building, got off. There was no overhang or anything, so I was just standing behind it, and I had positioned myself to where the wind was blowing, hitting the building, so I was a little bit out of the rain, but not a whole lot. It was lightning, thunder all around me. I didn't have my rain gear on either, so I was getting completely soaked. I was worried. I wear mesh gear over my clothing, but I was worried that it was getting so soaked that it was going to get down to my phone and my camera and stuff. And then it starts pea-sized hailing, and I couldn't do anything, so I just stood there and waited about 15 minutes until the wind finally calmed down. It was still raining and hailing, but I got back on my cycle and I got on the back road, so it wasn't nearly as bad speed-wise, and I just took off. But even though all this happened, that was an extremely negative situation. I could have talked about it for weeks to people and complained about it and be like, oh, my life is so terrible, my car is broken down, I have to ride my cycle, I got caught in this storm, it was scary, I got all my suit wet, but I didn't say a word to anybody unless I was making fun of it and laughing at it. And it's just, there was no benefit in talking about it in a negative way. I mean, it was what it was. There was nothing to be done. I got home, I dried out my stuff, and I got some warm clothing, got underneath some blankets, and warmed up, because it was pretty cold after getting rained on. And but no, it's just an experience, and life is full of experiences, and they're not going to be all positive, but they don't have to be negative if you don't want them to be. So I just want to toss that out there. Jokes. Why did the football coach go to the bank? To get his quarterback. What did the sushi say to the bumblebee? Wasabi! Alright, that wasn't too bad. Besides messing up the second quote. Inside the Introvert section now. So when I roll this on to its own podcast, I'm probably going to start reviewing articles out of the newsletter I've been referencing, which is called Introvert Dear. Every time I talk about it, I'll definitely give reference to them and credit to them, but there's a lot of stuff in there that if you aren't listening to it, like I want to try to further spread it and just put it out there. So I'll be kind of giving my own opinion about it, and because introverts are so different, and this is one thing I didn't know. I thought most introverts were pretty much the same, and there's definitely a lot of characteristics that cross the different introvert kinds, but there's a lot that are just wildly different, so I thought I'd reference some of that stuff. Hang on, I'm going to try to step down this grass so I can actually see my board. Okay. I'm not sure that helped much. Oh, that definitely didn't help. So I was checking out at a fireworks stand on July 2nd, and I was only spending like $3 because, I mean, I didn't really want to do that, but I kind of felt bad for looking around. This was like a really small stand, and the guy asked me if I was getting something just to tie me over until the 4th, and I wanted to be like, no, this is just this is the best price stuff, this is all I found. But I was like, oh yeah, and then he kept going on about how that was a great idea, and he's like, made it sound like I'd come up with this brilliant idea to get a few things now and then get a whole bunch right before the 4th and stuff, and wanted to be like, no, your stuff is really expensive, and this was the only cheap stuff I found. But I just kind of stood there and nodded and was like, yeah, can you just check me out so I can leave this situation? So, kind of being introverted. I went to purchase something at a hardware store. The guy in front of me was making like a $1,200 purchase. He bought a big saw of some sort and like a big table and stuff. And man, it was taking forever. And the cashier was not a great cashier. And she actually, I believe she was like a manager or supervisor or something, but she was just not that great. And he had complaints about this certain thing should have been on part of the sale, and she's like, no, if you read the fine print, it's not. And he was going to go ahead and get it, and it took a long time. I mean, people behind me were going to other lines, but honestly, they had 4 open, and they were all full. And I'm pretty patient, so I just stood there behind them, but I was still getting angry, just on the inside. And when I got up there, I really wanted to say, like, if she had asked me, I was like, if she asked me if I'm having a good day, I'd be like I was before I stood in this line, or something, saying something like, what is that called, passive-aggressive or something? But just trying to bring it up. And so I finally get up there, and I had everything ready. Like, it should have taken me 60 seconds. I always do this. I worked in retail. I know to have the barcodes where they can see it. When I lay all my items up there, I make sure the barcode's facing up so they see it, they can scan it. I've had people tell me, man, I wish everyone would come up like you. And I had a coupon, and I had it on my phone, zoomed in, ready. All she had to do was scan it. And it still took us like 4 minutes to check out because the guy beside her had a problem. And instead of just ringing me up, she was turned over and she's like talking to him. And she'd kind of reach over and press a button and then talk to him. I was like, man, this is making me frustrated. Like, I was already frustrated because I was having to wait so long, but that was really annoying. I was like, if you want to do this, like, you shouldn't have started checking me out. You should be like, hang on just a minute. But you're already halfway into my order, so finish it up. Shouldn't take long, then you can help him. And she had a bad attitude, too. She was not wanting to be there, which I can understand, but at the same time, that is your job, so kind of need to do it. And, I lost my place, hang on. Oh, when is this the last one? Yeah, this is the last one for Inside the Intorvert. When I had my money ready, like, she told me the amount, and I actually had the exact amount to give her. And I said, here you go. And I guess she didn't hear me. I'm pretty soft-spoken. And I was like, so do I say it again? Am I going to sound stupid for saying it again? Went ahead and said it again. I said, here you go. And louder. And she still didn't turn. So I'm just sitting there holding my money. And that's really frustrating. I'm like, just turn, take the money. Because I'm having to sit here awkwardly holding it to you. And she did at least say sorry whenever I left, but I didn't say anything. I just walked out because I was angry. That was my retaliation against her, is to not say anything, not say thank you, and all that stuff. So it was a very annoying, slightly introverted experience. So. But anyways, that's going to be it for this podcast. My grass is covering everything, so I can't see it. All my episodes are on YouTube, so if you're listening to this, if you want to listen to older episodes, for now, you have to listen to YouTube. If you use Online Video Converter, you can download them as an MP3. I put all the new episodes up on SoundCloud. I've also got a Twitter and my photo website, which is what? For some reason, I don't have it on here. I've totally blanked out, and they actually got taken over by something else. No, I don't even remember the name of the photo website. I haven't been able to upload it for like 3 months, but shortly, within like a week or so, I'll be able to start uploading to it again. But I guess I won't mention it because I can't remember the name of it. But anyways, whenever I do remember the name, you can see all these cool pictures and nature pictures and stuff like this. So that's going to be it. Take care. Amount of views. The Greatest Showman. That was the other movie I was trying to remember. So. My boards are much further. That was close. The wind started up. I should put this in like a bloopers. I wonder if this would just stay up by itself. Doesn't feel very stable. Yeah, totally not stable. Oh, I know what to do.